it is a reminder I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it wasn't. And so having said that, I want me some glory hole. And so having said that, I want me some glory hole.
How about them Cowboys? To announce the Dallas Cowboys selection, please welcome the University of Tulsa wide receiver Drew Pearson. All right. How about them Cowboys? I want to thank the Eagle fans for allowing me to have a career in the NFL. Thank you. I am honored as an undrafted free agent to be selected to make the Cowboys second-round draft pick. And on behalf of the five-time world champion Dallas Cowboys, Hall of Fame owner Jerry Jones, Team Jones and the Jones family, Coach Jason Garrett, all the Cowboy players that played before me, that played with me, and played after me. With the second pick, 60th pick in the second round, the Dallas Cowboys select defensive back from Colorado, Chidobe Awuzie.
And it is a reminder I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it wasn't. And so having said that, I want me some glory hole.
How about them Cowboys? How about them Cowboys?
And it is a reminder I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it wasn't. And so having said that, I want me some glory hole.
How about them Cowboys?
And so having said that, I want me some glory hole.
Broadcasting live from the EBSN online studios in Columbus, Ohio. It's Silver and Blue Nation, the voice of diehard Dallas Cowboy fans. Now, here are your hosts, Big Game James and Producer G.
What's up? First of all, let me get a how about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys?
And then I need some glory hole.
it is a reminder. I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it wasn't. And so, having said that, I want me some glory hole.
There you go. There we go. Glory hole. If you
Back
didn't
to
get any
glory
of that,
hole.
if you didn't get any glory hole, we gave that to you. Glory hole. We'll be giving you glory hole throughout the show, so don't worry about that. How about them Cowboys?
Hey, how about them, man? It feels good. Everybody feels good.
Woo,
Hey,
how's up, everybody?
thanks for tuning in with us on this post-game reaction show. We get the dub, get it done. Cowboys win 20-13. Make sure you guys like and share the video. Comment, bring all your comments. Share it to all the Cowboys groups. Get all your people in there.
Share,
Invite
like,
everybody. Let's get
please.
everybody up in here and celebrate together as a
Please
big group.
celebrate.
And, yeah, let's talk about this victory, man. We got a dub. We're 1-1. We're taking charge of this division.
Well, the good thing about it was a big victory because to me, it was a must-win game because I didn't want us to go 0-2 headed to Seattle looking flat or anything like that. I mean, it wasn't like we were world beaters. It wasn't like we gained 500 yards and did all of those type of things. It was really a couple drives. We had a lot of missed opportunities, a lot of, some penalties that kind of hurt us. But at the end of the day, what we've been talking about from the beginning of this year, the beginning of last year when we started Silver and Blue Nation, we were talking about the defense, how it could be a top 10 last year. We were saying it could be possibly top 5, and it's looking like that. And remember, folks, we still don't have Randy Gregory We didn't have Randy Gregory that game. We didn't have David Irvin that game. And Xavier Woods hasn't even played yet. So those pieces are going to be added here soon. So this defense is what we've been talking about. The defense is going to carry us this year. 2016, the offense carried us. 2018, the defense will carry us.
Yeah, and you've also got Dayton Jones coming back in that mix too, so the depth is just off the charts. We were talking about it just before we came on, the difference that Antoine Woods has made.
Oh, man, he's a freaking monster. He's a monster, G.
Pushing that pocket up the middle. Let's give a few shout-outs before we keep rolling along here on Facebook Live. If you're watching on Big Game James's page, make sure you jump over to the Silver and Blue Nation page. That's where I'm looking at comments right now, so make sure you come over there and leave your comments.
Get over here.
Annette's in there, Khalil, Megan McBride. Everybody's excited, pumped up. We got this dub. Jessica Haggerty's in there. Kengwana Holmes, KG Gist is in the building. Julie's Queen. Appreciate all you guys tuning in. Make sure you guys like and share. Amanda Foster, too, and from the DC4L group. So make sure you go join that group, hashtag DC4L. Appreciate all you guys who are checking in on YouTube. Also, Ryan Dye's there. He says we almost choked it up at the end. It did get a little bit scary.
I mean, leave it to the Dallas Cowboys. That's what we do. We never have a dull game. When is the last time you seen the Dallas Cowboys ever have a damn dull game where we can ever win a 40 to? I would love to see a 40-10. It's okay for us to beat a team 50-0. I would love to see a boring game, but we can't do it. Heart attacks, I should make sure I stay in shape and in good shape because they give me a heart attack every single game. Blake Jarwin, first of all, dog, I gave you a lot of props this year. Oh, Blake Jarwin, you could be a guy. Blake Jarwin, you could be a guy. First of all, you're soft, Blake Jarwin, and I think you called him out, G, when you were telling me about it. You was like, he just something about Blake Jarwin I don't really like about him. But you know what? He's soft. He was getting roll grade in the blocking game today. And then the goofiness on the special teams, man, have his seat because Rico Gathers, I didn't mean to jump. I'm not trying to jump places right there, but Rico Gathers had a touchdown that Dak should have got, and he also had another pass that he got forced out the pocket a little bit. Collins should have had to block, but Rico Gathers was open again. So to me, Rico Gathers was getting open. He needs to play more.
Yeah, Rico looks like he could definitely make a difference. And speaking of differences, what do you think was the biggest difference tonight?
Defense.
From last week. I mean, defense still played pretty well last week.
Yeah, but
though.
this defense was, I mean, it was good last week. You know what I'm saying?
We were facing a different dynamic last week.
True, but at the end of the day, we were after them. And well, let me just take that back. You're right. The defense did. Dak Prescott made the plays he didn't make last week. Let me just say that because, number one, we went deep, and I love that because I didn't believe they were going to do it, actually go deep on a one-on-one coverage. And I have been calling for Tavon Austin. I called for him last week. He needed to get the ball in the pregame. I said he needed to get the ball against Carolina. And then I said once again that he needed it this week. Didn't we say that before this game? Yeah. Didn't we say don't use Tavon Austin, the gadget play, throw deep? Didn't we say that?
Sure did.
Sure did. We said it at pregame. And lo and behold, Scott Linehan called me, and he heard what I said, and he threw it deep to him. You feel me? And he had a couple other plays where he was a receiver and not just a gadget play. You get what I'm saying? But not just that, Dak Prescott made crucial throws on that fourth quarter drive that we needed, and that was the game right there. That's what we need him to do.
That drive was huge. 14 plays. I think it covered 86 yards in 8 minutes. That was a phenomenal game-clinching drive, and you see the video playing right now if you're watching live. Zeke ices it up right at the end. That was just huge for us. But for me, one of the biggest differences in this game was the way we started out on first down. And I was saying that in the pregame, we needed to see a different look on first down this week because last week we kept getting second and long into third and long.
Yeah.
So we started off this week. What do? We get Dak in a comfortable situation. He likes to throw them slants. It's one of his better passes that he can throw. And comfortable right away. You see second down is short. And then we convert, get a first down, and keep it moving. And then you were able to work off the play action, get the deep pass. And that was one of the biggest differences to me was the first down production tonight.
Yes, and once again, I like the drive, how they were mixing in with the run and the pass with Dak Prescott. You know, they were doing that run pass option with him and Zeke, and it was killing him because once Zeke gets a couple big gains, you have to respect when he gets that ball. And what we were calling about with that one play, G, when we were at like 2nd and 1, and I said, this is a perfect time for now to get Dak Prescott outside with the play fake. What did he get? 12-yard gain. And now you keep them off balance and they don't know what's going on. And then now those guys that are open, but hey, Deontay Thompson had a nice game as well. He hit he had like a couple good passes. I think it was in that second half. He caught a couple first downs that we needed to get that ball going. Cole Beasley, Dak spread it around. He hit Gallup a couple times. He hit Austin. So even though he didn't have a high production as far as yards, he did spread the ball around to multiple receivers. He did make the plays when we needed them. Ezekiel Elliott was working on like 17 carries, like 78 yards. But I think the biggest thing is when you look back on the defense, 6 sacks in the game on Eli Manning. We were pressuring him all game. Big shout-outs to, Wuze had, I think, like 7 tackles this game. Byron Jones had a very good game. They really shut down Odell Beckham because I think Saquon Barkley had 13 receptions. He was the leading receiver on the team.
Yes, Barkley finished with the stats right here on the screen if you're watching live. Barkley finishes with 14 catches for 80 yards, 11 rushes for 28, so we shut him down in the running game. I'm sure they would have liked to give him the ball more often, but their offense kind of looked like what we did last week, similar. And as you see there, Dak, 160 yards, a touchdown. Zeke gets a touchdown on only 17 carries, so he's still not seeing the ball as much as we'd like. But the timing of things was different today.
Well, it looked like like I said, we were aggressive. It looked like they were aggressive. It looked like they got a little bit out of their way. Maybe in that third quarter, looked like they were going back in the conservative shell. But once again, we did have a couple big penalties when we got 2 first down back-to-back, first with the Ezekiel Elliott run, and then Dak came back with the pass for the first down, 2 offensive penalties, one by Collins and one by Jeff Swain hurt us. But if you look at the whole game as a whole, as I said before, it was what the Cowboys are this year. We're going to be a team that tries to run the ball. Dak Prescott needs to make the throws when he needs to make, and we're just going to try to rely on this defense to really keep us in the game, and that's what you see. I don't really think we're going to be this super explosive a team that's going to score 30, 40 points a game, but we'll be out there to be able to be, somebody we worry about.
Before we move along, let's go take a live look right now at New York Giants fans. This video just coming in live. Let's take a look. Let's go to New York.
I think that was a couple of my friends right there. Shout out to Johnny. Shout out to Eldre Watkins for his Giant. Loved him. There's a couple other Giants fans I got to holler at because they run their mouths. But guess what? How many victories is this against them now? Man, we're going to sweep y'all again. Redskins, we're coming for y'all too.
Yes, that was live at New York fans. Right now, just quiet as crickets. Huge game tonight, unbelievable. How impressed were you with Dak?
I was impressed as far as that fourth quarter drive. That was the biggest thing that stood out to me. Is he going to make this drive that we need? Because as I said before, we were going back and forth with defense against their defense, and it was just like somebody had to make a play in the passing game. And once again, what was that, like a 13-play drive? Those are the big type of drives in the fourth quarter that we need from him to go where we need to go as far as this season and beyond, hopefully in the playoffs. So, as I said before, Dak Prescott isn't a guy you want to have throw for 300 and 400 yards a game. 200-some yards a game is great. That's something good for him, and you can still run with him. I think he had like 50 yards rushing. That's the type of Dak Prescott you want to see. You don't have to sit there and freaking force the ball as far as throwing 30, 40 times a game. That's not his game. Don't do it. Run pass option, feed Zeke the ball, defense, we win.
Yeah, that actually might have been the most rushing yards he's had in a game. I'll have to take a look into that, but definitely could have been. Thanks to everybody who's tuning in so far with us tonight as we recap this Giants-Cowboys game, Sunday Night Football. Everybody who's making comments right now will come through and give you some shout-outs on Facebook Live and YouTube. Yeah, jump in.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in and get some shout-outs. I haven't been getting some shout-outs since I've been on here. So, Ken, Katina, as usual, Hulk Logan, what's up? Patrick O'Brien, Diego Masters, Annette Mabu, what's up, baby? Emilio Balderas, Terry Turner, Lamar Bickers, Vondell Jackson, Randall Gay, Greg Mills, Mama T, Alexander Vargas, KD Gist, what's up, dog? Joseph Secret, Marvin Hargrove Jr., Megan McBride, just a lot of people, man, and whoever else is on YouTube, because I can't see y'all, but I just want to give y'all shout-outs. We love you. Thank you for tuning in to our show, Silver and Blue Nation, and we got another dub, so shout-outs to everybody, and we thank you for tuning in, and keep on listening because we're going to talk some more football. All right. That was one of those, I'm waiting for you, G, and you're like.
I wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready. I was like, I did the quick interlude, like, doop. And he was like, what are you doing? Well, let me ask you a quick question since we're talking. You're always asking me the questions. You're always like, Jay, what this? Jay, what that? What about you? What were you impressed with today? What did you – because you was all geeked up. You was like, oh, it's going to be a different game. We threw the long ball. And then you're like, oh, man. So how did you feel about the offense today and Dak Prescott?
I mean, I still am not happy with what I've seen from the offense. I mean, it was better than what we saw last week, as in we didn't make as many mistakes. And like I said, we weren't getting behind the chains today. That was the biggest difference to me. We kept moving, staying ahead of the chains. And this team is built, we said it earlier too on the pregame show, this team is built to play with the lead or within like a one-possession game. So that was key. Like we watched the interview as Zeke said they needed to get out to a fast start, and I think that's what happened. They came right out and got out to a quick start, and this team I feel like is built to play with the lead. So to be able to get that lead early on, I think that was a big difference tonight. And I just noticed, like I said, too, that the coaching staff needed to make some adjustments, some changes. I was curious to see what they were going to do. You saw that right away coming out on first down. We always talk about the predictability, and they come out firing a slant, for 9 yards on first down right out the gate to set you up with second and short, a manageable situation, and then you can run and build off play action. And I thought that part of it I was pretty impressed with, and Dak spread the ball out pretty well. And there's a lot of other things too, but for right now, I mean, that's what kind of stood out at the moment, my instant reaction for it. I was impressed with the adjustments that were made all around.
Yeah, I like the adjustments.
The defense I already knew was solid, and they played like I thought they probably would.
Yeah, well, we knew the defense was going to get on. I mean, the Giants, you said you don't know why you don't think they're better. They just got really two players. I mean, they got Odell Beckham Jr. and they got Saquon Barkley. They don't have anybody else. They don't have anybody that scares you, and you can get after Eli. As you see, he's nothing but a statue now. You can come after him. We were bringing the heat, singing every single play. Shout out to Chris Richard out there, dog. We are glad we brought you from Seattle. Thank you for Seattle for cutting him and saying we don't want you any longer, because one man's trash is another man's man's treasure, and we got the treasure right now because we were aggressive the whole damn game. I like the aggressiveness from the defense. I don't know if Richard makes Rob Marinelli blitz more, but there was a lot of heat coming at a lot of times, and that's what we have been waiting and craving for, in my estimations, because how many times when we had that defense last year, you could see we were getting a groove, and then we pulled back and go and cover Tampa 2 defense, and we just let them come right back in the game. Whereas this time you're seeing we're still blitzing. It's we're up 10-3, 17-3. We're still blitzing. 20-3, still blitzing. I like the aggressiveness, and that's what I want to continue to see. Now I got a couple questions in here. Terry Turner asked a quick question because I don't want to forget you guys out here. Terry Turner asked, what do we think about LVE? I think he had 6 or 7 tackles today. He had a decent performance. He did make some tackles. They were not in the backfield. They were after they were getting in the line of scrimmage. But I did notice when Sean Lee was out and he was playing in coverage, he was making solid tackles. You weren't getting around him in space. So that's what I was happy about, because we were missing a lot of tackles on Saquon Barkley today. Jeff Heath, I mean, you can love him and hate him at times. Sometimes you freaking love Jeff Heath, and then other times I hate him because he can make 2 big boom hits and then he'll miss 3 bad tackles. So we got to clean that up as far as the missed tackles, because Kayvon Frazier missed like 3 or 4 tackles, at least 3 in the very beginning. So we got to clean that up. But I think LVE did have a nice performance, and he made sure tackles.
Taco Charlton had a big sack and a fumble recovery.
Yes, he did. I think DeMarcus Lawrence had a sack. Antoine Woods had a sack. Tyrone Crawford had a sack. Kayvon Frazier had a sack. So it was good. And once again, like I said, what were we always screaming about the defense? We need a defensive tackle. We need a defensive tackle. We need a one-tech. Well, guess what, folks? We've been screaming for that, and that guy was Antoine Woods. When he came over from the Tennessee Titans, he was an unknown. Nobody was talking about him. Nobody was even thinking about Antoine Woods. And he has changed our defense, folks. He has made our defense formidable, because if you were watching that game, he was pushing that pocket like every freaking play. He was almost commanding a double team out there, and he was freeing DeMarcus Lawrence, and they were just playing a sequence. So that is huge, getting a guy like Antoine Woods. He came out of nowhere. We had the interview with him. I called him barbecue. He slapped Travis Frederick in his head. It just kind of made him the star of everything, and he's just kind of run with it, man.
So could this team go very far with the offense limited like it is? Because, I mean, today they play well enough to win, but how far can you go playing like that? I mean, you can barely get 20 points.
You can go far because it's proven. I mean, when we watch the Ravens, I know this is not what the 1990s and the early 2000s. It has changed a little bit. The running game was more prevalent back in those days. But at the end of the day, defense always still and will always win championships. And as long as you got championship-type defense, you want to score more points. But if Dak Prescott can make the plays like he did, get us in those down and distance or make those critical first downs, the defense can take you as far as you want. You feel me? And we got a good offensive line. Our receiving core isn't terrible. So as long as we got Ezekiel Elliott back there and that's a threat, and Dak Prescott can make those critical throws, it's really on Jason Garrett, for real, as far as the coaching staff, to make those critical adjustments much needed in the games when they're close and it's the playoff time.
I just worry about this team if we get behind by more than 1 score. That's my biggest fear with this team. Can they come back, in a crucial environment, a crucial game? I don't know if they're equipped for that, but we're still just kind of waiting on a guy to stand out. We still don't have Tavon Austin had a big catch, but only had 2 catches today, so we still don't really have that guy at wide receiver. It's proven tonight that you don't necessarily have to have one of those to win, but I still think you need a guy that who is your go-to guy, in crucial situations. Well, and I thought Michael Gallup could have looked like that guy, and I was seeing them deep passes in the preseason, but I haven't seen that since.
Well, what's so funny to me is how Dallas Cowboys automatically say no to Josh Gordon. So how I was talking about earlier, like we got to get the ball's got to get to him. But if you have a guy like Josh Gordon out there and he doesn't have any drug problems, why don't you look at him? Because that can make this offense explosive. Is that not correct? You went deep with Tavon Austin, right? Imagine if you had a Josh Gordon, you can hit him on a slant pattern. I mean, we kill the slant patterns all day, right? With Michael Gallup, but those guys don't have. Those guys are not Josh Gordon. He's an elite player. Aqib Talib says, they asked him who's one of the toughest guys you ever guarded in the NFL. He said Josh Gordon. He's been playing how long? He's played against who? You understand what I'm saying? And we don't even look at him because why? We're happy with our receiving core.
Let's talk a little bit about Rico Gathers again. He had a couple opportunities tonight, a couple missed opportunities. One of them you could maybe say was on him a little bit with not catching, but it would have been a tough catch had he got it. And then the other one you said he was wide open and Dak missed the throw.
Oh, my gosh.
So what do you think then about the tight end position moving forward? I mean, we got guys that can't block. You talk about Blake Jarwin, who's soft. Swaim is still inexperienced. They're all inexperienced.
Swain is okay, though. I can deal with Swain because Swain does block and he can be sneaky. But I really think if you ask me about the tight end situation, I think Rico Gathers needs to play more because you said it yourself. You thought he was our best receiving tight end on the field as far as our tight end core. And you saw today he gets open. That route that he did, and everybody said about his route running is terrible, right? But that route that he did was picture perfect, and Dak would have just basically threw the right kind of pass. It was bam, right in his arms, perfect touchdown. We're screaming. We're like, Rico Gathers, because guess what? The dude is a threat. He's big, and if you get the ball near him rightly, he will catch it. You don't really see him dropping the ball.
A lot of people are talking about Bryce Butler possibly being re-signed. I do think that could provide some value considering I feel like they had good chemistry.
They did have good chemistry.
He was
did
our
see
deep
it.
threat.
He was our deep threat.
You would throw down the field. You trust him to go up and get the ball over somebody.
Yeah, and I mean
that Cardinals game last year.
If you're not going to look at a Josh Gordon, I like Bryce, but why take him if he's open, but why in the hell don't you look at Josh Gordon?
You got to take a look. I know there was interest there when he first came into the league. We had talked about maybe grabbing him in the supplemental draft, so I know there was some interest there before. So I would say he'd be worth a shot. If it's a simple trust issue at this point in his career with his production, you're going to get him on a pretty solid deal, a team-friendly deal, I'm sure. So
who are you talking about, Bryce?
No, if you were to sign Josh Gordon.
Oh, hell yeah.
You're going to get a team-friendly type deal, and you'd be able to cut ties with him if something goes wrong.
Right. You're not going to be hurt. Like, what is it hurting you if you do something and get him? You're not going to have to pay him a lot of money, and none of it's pretty much going to be guaranteed because of his drug problems or his past. But I guarantee you, let some New England Patriots, and while we all be like, oh, no to Josh Gordon, or because we don't need somebody who smokes marijuana on the team. Let him go on the Patriots and let him go on to New England and get his mind right and watch what he gets. Watch what he does.
Hey, the Patriots took a L today.
Watch what he does.
Let me give some love to YouTube. But thank all you guys who are tuning in over here. Lots of comments coming in. Micah Sofa, Santana Louie, Xavier Giles, Stevie Mack, Vaquero Cowboy. You guys always watch every week. April Staten in there again. Hirsch Patel. Appreciate everybody. Therese Carson, Marlena Faith. Shout out to our Patron, Janiqua Russell. Thank you for tuning in every week as you always do. And everybody else who's leaving comments with us, we greatly appreciate that. And if you're not subscribed on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications, give us a thumbs up, and go over on Facebook too and like us there. And if you're watching on Big Game James' Facebook page,
come on over here. Jump
on the Silver and Blue Nation page and get in here with these comments so we can talk some more about this football game.
We know it's late, but y'all adults, you know damn well that y'all be staying up 2, 3 in the morning watching soaps and everything on Hulu and all whatever stuff they got out there.
So Odell Beckham gets held to 4 catches for 51 yards, and Wiseman Santana wants to talk about our cornerback play. What do you think about that tonight?
Hellacious. Like I said, I think Awuzie had 7 tackles. I think they tried to get that long one right at the end of the game, and Awuzie was perfectly covered with them. Even that long pass that he got on Awuzie, he was right there in the coverage. That dude is sticky. I told everybody, and I told you who Awuzie reminds me of. He reminds me of Sean Springs. Remember him?
No, I thought we said Darrelle Revis.
Darrelle Revis, but he reminds me of Sean Springs too, because Sean Springs was number 24. They're built that same way as well. Wasn't a high interception guy, but was a real sticky in coverage and had a long career. I had long arms too, and if you watch Awuzie, he has good arm play as far as he knows where to be. He might not get a lot of interception, but he knows where to be. Byron Jones, I still think he has issues when you go into his chest and you can go on the inside slant, but it looks like when you try to go deep on him, he plays that stuff perfect. So they play really good. Brown had a pretty good game. He had a block. I think he had a bat down. He had perfect coverage. So secondary play, Jeff, he still needs to clean that up, but I do like what the corners brought. I mean, we still didn't even see Jordan Lewis.
So what's going on with Sean Lee? I mean, I know he makes some impact plays that aren't necessarily on the stat sheets, but 3 tackles, 5 total tackles, 3 tackles solo, 2 assists. A lot of guys with more tackles than him. You said he got injured, right?
Yeah, he had a little bit of injury. They wrapped his thigh, but he was out there on the last special teams play because he was basically saying he wanted to come back in. And he basically, Sean Lee, he knows people are watching him, and he knows he's got the injury-prone label. So he doesn't want to sit out because the first thing they're going to say is, yeah, same old Sean Lee. Everybody's going to say that about him. So you don't think he doesn't know that, especially how he had that thing with Dez. Everybody's on watch with Sean Lee. If he goes out, the first thing they're going to come at him. You feel me? That's real. So his butt was back out there. But at the end of the day, I feel good that Sean Lee didn't have a big tackle game and we still look good on defense. We should be happy about that, that we don't have to rely on him, because what have we been saying? Our defense always falls apart when Sean Lee goes out the game. We're talking about he haven't had a good 2 games, and guess what? Our defense has looked good. I like that.
Yeah, outside of Awuzie leading the team with his 8 solo tackles, Jalen Smith checks in with 10, and then Van Der Esch with 7. So
See?
That makes you feel good. I think that's part of the strategy for drafting a Van Der Esch and moving on from Hitchens and bringing in other guys, because you really are trying to really think about life after Sean Lee at this point, because you've seen what happens when he's not there. You don't want to have that problem.
Right.
Because chances are, Sean Lee's in his 30s. He's not going to be around much longer, most likely. Another positive note, and a day that was filled with lots of bad kicking and kickers just going, making mistakes all day and getting hurt and whatnot. And Brett Maher 2 for 2 today, and so that was a big impact difference in the game. Set the tone, getting us a couple nice field goals, putting us up by a couple possessions, and able to really help out by hitting them field goals, because like we said before, those can be momentum changing type plays. So
if he didn't, he was going to hear the boo birds from everybody, because everybody going to remember that last game he missed. So if he would have came in and after we took that drive and he missed that field goal, oh man, he would have heard and caught hell, and everybody from Dallas would have been, he'd have had to basically hide when he was leaving out of here, because everybody would have been on that ass. So it was good for him and his confidence, and for people to get off of him. And Dan Bailey probably be finding a job here real soon anyway with that terrible field goal kicking that was going on.
And as I'm sitting here just looking at the box score of this game, some of these stats, I realize Dak has 16 completions for 160 yards, and the 1 touchdown was 64 yards. So you're talking 15 completions at under 100 yards aside from that one play. So you're looking at about maybe like 5 to 6 yards per pass completion. That's just not very good. That's not very productive in my mind. So I still just feel something just doesn't quite feel good about this win. Like, I just don't see this being a team that can go far. Maybe that's just me. I don't know.
Well, let's be real. Like, we said that Dak need to make plays, right? So he made the plays, but at the end of the day, he still has to make plays.
He made timely plays tonight.
This is
when
still
we needed it.
Right. So if you look at the win on the offensive side, you would have to say Dak Prescott won this game on the offensive side, right? Because Zeke had just 78 yards, so you would say really Dak won this game, right?
Yeah, because of the situation, the timing of those type of plays.
Right.
Yeah.
So you would put it more on him. So that's what I'm saying. This season has to be more on him.
It's why the stat sheet doesn't really tell the whole story, and we're still waiting on Zeke to really break out. He had a 19-yard run, was his biggest run.
We're really missing Travis Frederick.
And a nice touchdown. So we're still waiting on Zeke to bust out, get those big one. That's back-to-back games with about 70 yards.
But you know what? That's not playing in the preseason too. People act like
some of it.
People act like, you know what, and then you were even listening to the announcers. Chris Collinsworth was saying it looks like Dak Prescott's still shaking off the rust from the preseason. Well, if he was shaking off the rust in the preseason and he at least played, what do you call Ezekiel Elliott? He didn't get to play in the whole preseason. They didn't get to play with each other, so he's not going to come out there and get 150 yards rushing every game, and he didn't even play in the preseason. It looks like he's still getting his legs together. You feel me?
Yeah, and now I'm just still looking at the stat sheets as we're talking here, because some things are just standing out to me as I kind of evaluate and analyze what we just saw. Tavon Austin, your leading receiver, with 79 yards and the 1 touchdown. Only 2 catches, though, for him. But outside of that, Deontay Thompson leads your team. He looked like the guy Dak was more comfortable throwing to on a regular basis. 4 catches, 33 yards. But here's where I'm having the problem, because now you have Beasley and Williams making the most money as wide receivers on this team.
Mm-hmm.
2 catches.
They're not getting the ball.
3 combined catches, 25 combined yards for the 2. And combined, they're probably making, what, $10 million, for the season?
Well, yeah, because I know both Beasley and I think they're both making almost $4 million apiece.
Yeah, so that's just like money that we could be spent elsewhere. We're not getting any type of production there.
Well, we all said, why is Terrence Williams going? Why is he on the team?
And I don't really know what to do about Cole Beasley. I know you've always wanted to come
Trade
off with
him.
a trade.
I told we could have traded him.
At this point, his value is probably very
Gone.
low.
I mean, and see, now, didn't I tell you what was going to happen with Beasley? We were going to use him up, right? And then now ain't nobody going to really sign him. We could have got value for him. If we probably could have traded him last year, could have got an extra draft pick, could have maybe did something in the draft. Now you're going to keep him, right? He's going to be almost 30, right? What kind of value are you going to give if you trade him? You're not probably going to – are you really going to re-sign him?
What do you think the biggest difference is for Beasley from like 16 when he had like 70-some catches with Dak to now they just don't seem like they're on the same page? Or it can't be that Cole Beasley's getting double coverage all the time. That wouldn't make sense to me.
I just think it's Dak.
Is Beasley the one drawing double coverages out there? I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either. I don't know anybody who's drawing double coverage.
I'm just wondering
from the
what
Cowboys.
the difference is.
I
How do you go
you.
from 75 balls to, what was it, like 40 or 50 last year to now you're barely even seeing the ball?
I think it was Tony Romo was out there helping Dak Prescott. It was nobody knew Dak Prescott. Nobody knew Ezekiel Elliott. They came in and saw there was a whole fresh new thing. And now people got that tape on Dak, and he can't do some of the things maybe he got off in 2016. And people have kind of said, well, you know what? We're going to take away this, and this, and see what you can do. So I think that's really what it is. He doesn't really have a guy that is a go-to man, and he doesn't really look at it like that. So
And right now, Allen Hurns is not paying off. 1 catch for 9 yards. Michael Gallup, he's a rookie. It is what it is. But you did see that chemistry and what you thought might translate to the regular season and the preseason with those two hasn't really transpired so far. And I don't know if that's a matter of him not getting on the field, they're not on the same page, or what's going on, but it's just very limited right now in the passing game.
it is.
The running game could be a lot better if there was more of a threat in the passing game. We played good enough to win tonight thanks to that defense, but just barely, because you saw at the end there the Giants started getting it going.
Right.
And you said it, Eli Manning's the problem for them because they have a pretty good team, minus Eli Manning. So,
Yeah, going forward, what did I say our record would be in the first 4 games? 2-2, right? So
You
right
said
now,
that, yep.
I said we'd be 2-2 going in that 4-game stretch, getting ready to head into the Texans. Right now we're 1-1. You got the Lions and you got the Seahawks. That Seahawks game is going to be treacherous because, like I said, it doesn't matter if the Seahawks aren't the same team they were before. It's still the Seahawks. They still got Russell Wilson. They still got Earl Thomas back there. They still got a decent defense, and they're on the 12th man. And that field out there is a big difference. And that hostile crowd, that's where you really – now, it was good that we saw Dak today, but guess what, G? Dak's got to prove it every week, don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to – a lot of people were talking about, you posted the video, G. Remember when you posted the video, right? And people were like, oh, you was just hating on Dak. No, I wasn't hating on Dak. But guess what? I'm going to be critical of Dak if I feel like he's not making those plays. It doesn't matter how much I like him. You still got to make plays as a player. And guess what? When he goes to Seattle, that fire really is going to be on him because that's going to be a hostile environment, and he really has to make plays in that game.
Yeah, I'm excited to see, their reaction and response to that type of crowd too. Going to the Facebook Live comments, and thanks to everybody who's tuned in and left us comments tonight. We probably aren't going to get heavy into the shout-outs and the comments just because it's getting late, and we're about to probably wrap this thing up. But I did want to touch on a couple ones that I scrolled by. J.D. Kersey says, is Bryce Butler signing with us? And if he does, who's going to get cut?
If he does sign with us, they should cut? Terrence Williams.
That's what I was about to say.
If they sign Bryce Butler, they should cut Terrence Williams. That's what the hell they should do. That's the right thing to do. If there's no reason to keep Terrence Williams on the team, he's not going to kill you. So what? You already dumped people's salary before. Cut him and bring on Bryce Butler.
If Bryce Butler comes in, instant starter.
I mean, instant starter are playing a lot.
Yes. So he's going to come right in here and have the potential to do what he wants in this offense.
Yep.
And I think Dak trusts him enough to just chuck the ball down
deep.
to him. So
yeah,
that would be
and you know
huge
Bryce
for
Butler.
me.
And my bad, G. But you
No,
know
you're
Bryce
good.
Butler. He's a character. They liked his character, like he was a goofy guy. You know, a lot of people said it'd be hard for him to come back. Even I said, because after what he basically said about the Cowboys. But you know what?
Well, I felt like he was really taking shots at Dez
Yeah,
more than anybody.
could have been. But you know what? Hey.
He was saying the only way I was coming back is if Dez was cut. Basically, that's what he was saying. You know, when he did his media rounds.
And guess what?
Dez is gone.
And he might be back.
You can come on back. That's what he said when he did his media rounds on Undisputed with Skip and Shannon. I remember him telling them, if I only come back if I can be guaranteed to be a starter. And that meant, translation, Dez Bryant has to be gone.
Mm-hmm.
And, hey, there it is. So Marcus Hawkins says they should probably cut Hearns. I mean, hey, if he's not guaranteed a lot, why not? I mean, what have we seen from him to be like he was worth the money so far?
I would keep Allen Hearns over Terrence Williams.
I guess it's good to have that veteran in there.
I'm keeping Allen Hearns over Terrence Williams all day.
Because veteran players might be helping them young guys more than what we know.
And Allen Hearns seems like he's a good guy, too. He works hard, and he actually loves Dallas. And we got to give Allen Hearns some props. Remember, a lot of people were after him, and we thought he was gone. Remember, he visited, and he left, and then he came back and signed. So let's give him some props for coming back. He was one of our big signings. So how about we get rid of Terrence Williams? Because what do we need him anymore? He's not what you think Terrence Williams is going to be with the team next year? He's not. So why are you going to keep him this year? Cut his ass and bring in Bryce Butler if you're going to do that.
Dustin Merriman, we got you on the shout out. Thanks for tuning in.
Dustin
checking
Merriman,
us out
what's
every
up,
week
dog?
on Facebook Live. Isa Cibrian, Cortland Horn, Hulk Logan, Mama T's in there. Everybody's up late night with us celebrating his victory tonight as we get the 20-13 dub over the Giants. Go check out the Silver Moon Nation Facebook page. Scroll down the timeline. You see a funny video we just posted about them. So check that out. Katina's watching too. And everybody who watches, we appreciate you. Also over on YouTube, make sure you guys subscribe there too and give us a thumbs up.
And subscribe to that Patreon right where that finger is right there if you want to continue. Patreon. If you want to subscribe and support the nation. Starts as low as $1 a month. You know, like I said, it's just going to contribute to making us bigger and better and bringing more and better things. I mean, we was out there last week in North Carolina, did a live show. We're going to be out there in hopefully Houston, Texas for that Texans game, and me and UG are going to be out there for the Indy game. So we got some more games coming up, more things trying to add and do. So subscribe to the Silver and Blue Nation so we can get this even better for you guys out there, you the fans.
Yes, subscribe to that Patreon, patreon.com/Silver Blue Nation. Like he said, a minimum $1 a month. You won't even miss it coming out your bank account.
You ain't missing $1, I'm trying to tell you.
We'll give you shout-outs. Eric Kashani is one of our patrons.
Yes.
Katina as well.
Yes.
And as well as Janiqua Russell watching over on YouTube. We appreciate you. And we're going to start putting some exclusive content in there, too, for you guys that subscribe.
We need to show that, like, picture or something.
We'll do some pictures, some in-game reaction, all this kind of good stuff that you guys want to see, some behind-the-scenes type stuff. Let you dig a little deeper into the Silver and Blue Nation life.
The Silver and Blue Nation life? Okay.
So, I mean, what else can we really say about this game? Everybody who commented, we won't get to your comments, but make sure you check in every Sunday because we'll be back. We're going to start trying to stream more like he just was saying. But, yeah, like I was saying, though.
Oh.
Is there anything else to take away from this game? I mean, obviously there's more, but tonight, you know, as we wrap it up with our instant reaction here.
Well, before I say that, and I do apologize, but Marvin Hargrove, definitely we got to give a shout-outs and prayers to everybody out in the North Carolina area. He's in the North Carolina area, Mama T. I've been talking to her. She's been hitting me up back and forth about the flooding and electricity being out there. We got a lot of people who really rep through Silver and Blue Nation through North Carolina and South Carolina. So, number one, prayers. I'm sorry if I did not get that shout-out in the very beginning to everybody out there, but my prayers and all our prayers are here with Silver and Blue Nation that everything get well. And you know what? I'm hoping somewhere I can help donate and send some supplies out there because, I mean, I ain't never really been in no hurricane, and that stuff changes your whole lives. You know, one minute you got a house and a home, and the next thing you know, you don't have nothing. And we're still living in our houses every day, driving forth back to work, and these people are devastated and got to start their lives over. So we just need to keep them all up in prayers and make sure, hopefully everything is all right with everybody out there. And prayers to Mama T and Marvin and everybody else who is on Silver and Blue Nation.
Yes, always keep in mind, this too shall pass. Through the good times and the bad times, everything passes. So just keep that in mind as you try to have the strength to get through all that, everybody who is affected by that. So
yes, for sure.
Love from us to you from here from Silver and Blue Nation.
For sure.
Katina Wright says, do more than a damn dollar, talking about our Patreon.com account.
I love you, Katina.
Yes.
Thank you.
Katina, I agree with that, but also think about it like this. If we can get 1,000 of you to do $1, hey.
I mean, it's just $1. Like I said, just like you said, $1 adds up. You could come with more, but you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I know you be buying drinks, fruit drinks, Black and Milds, beer, liquor.
Just be wasting money.
You be wasting money.
Put it to something
Put
good.
it to something good. I mean, you love the Cowboys. You see what we're trying to do. We're trying to go fire. You know $1 ain't killing you. It ain't killing you, man. It ain't killing you. It's not. It's okay. You can do it.
All right, well, that's going to do it for me. It's getting late. It's officially the next day here at Eastern Time.
It's officially Monday.
We crossed midnight here on Eastern Time.
We got to get them videos out.
It's Monday. We got to do some things, get some more content for you guys. So we're going to wrap this thing up tonight.
What's
and
your
be back
takeaway
with you
before we
for
get
the
off
pregame? My takeaway?
Yeah, what's your takeaway?
I mean, we're sitting at 1-1, where we got a good chance now because the Redskins are 0-2, the Giants are 0-2.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles 1-1 with the big loss today to Ryan Fitzpatrick-led Buccaneers. We get the win tonight to go to 1-1, looking back on track.
Did you say the Redskins were 0-2?
Are they 0-2?
No, they're 1-1.
They got the win last week.
Yeah, they're 1-1.
Okay, so 0-2, 1-1, 1-1, 1-1. So
right.
we're right there. The same chance as everybody else in that division right now. We're 1-0 in the division. So it feels pretty good right now as we stand. I mean, I can celebrate for a week. Feel good about this week. You know how it is when the Cowboys win, your whole week is good.
Right.
You know, coming up when they lose, your whole week is bad. So
right.
It's going to be a good week, so I'm excited about that. And I just can keep a little bit of optimism because, as I said before, 2016, you start 0-1, you go and win 11 straight. So this could be a start to a run. Who knows? Right now we're on a winning streak, 1-0, and let's try to keep going in that direction. And I think we have a pretty good chance to at least stay in that game next week and have a chance at the end to win that game. So I'm looking forward to it. And make sure you guys come back here for that pregame and postgame coverage next week too.
Because that's going to be a fire game. That's going to be a huge game. That might be one of the game of the weeks because anytime Seattle and Dallas play, it's always a rough and tumble game. It's never usually a blowout. Those games are always close until the very end. If you looked at the last 3 or 4 matchups we had against Seattle, they've been close into the wire, down to the wire, and I think that game is going to be rocking. Defense has to have another big game. If I can take anything away from this is defense is nasty, and we're just going to have to rely on our defense. We need to open some holes up for Ezekiel Elliott because we got to get him going. He's got to continue to see the ball, but Scott Linehan's got to continue to do that run-pass option with Dak Prescott and continue to kind of, get him in a rhythm. We saw when he gets in a rhythm, our team is better. So let's keep Dak Prescott in a rhythm. Let's keep him on the go, and let's keep that defense off balance. Keep attacking on the defense as far as that blitzing because that's what I think we're better at. When we're aggressive, when we're sending those linebackers, sending the corners off the edge, we're just so much of a better team. When we stay aggressive in attack mode, we're a better team. That's what we need to take away. That's what I take away.
Yes. Well said. Cowboys fans, enjoy the night, enjoy the week, celebrate, have a nice week of work, and look forward to next weekend. And make sure you check back in with us. And until that time, that's Big Game James.
And that's Producer G Voltron. We love y'all. We appreciate our prayers out there for them Carolinas.
And we'll see you next week.
Peace.